If you're playing Clark Kent and you're playing Superman, like, you're always in the public eye. Like Lex Luthor, if I go to jail for something, they're like, oh, he played Lex Luthor.
You should go to jail. Yeah,
right. But if, like, Superman or Clark Kent does something bad, you guys really hit the news, man.
That's why we don't do anything bad.
Yeah, I guess so.
Ever. Back me up, people, please. Or we just don't get caught. There's also that.
Because we'd really get it.
Thank God for Uber. You know what I'm talking about?
I do know what you're talking about.
All right. Yeah.
Where's mine? We were coming out. I wanted a tonic too. I asked one for one.
Have a sip, buddy.
Thank you. That's what I just see. Again, no job too small. I'll drink your drinks.
There it is.
Enjoy my herpes.
We're gonna do.
Damn it!
We'll be downstairs to come.
Oh my God! Thank God you weren't on mic for that. You're getting loud.
I'm not interested in being heard.
But what? Then why come on the panel at all?
Said he's not interested in being heard.
He tells me I have to do it.
He tells me I have to do it. It's part of your contract.
So, Tom, Michael, you talk about dragging him to cons. He's the reason you blah blah blah. Have you guys been tight the entire time since Smallville?
Have we been tight?
Yeah, so we bros.
I think, like, probably on the show, you and I were probably the tightest, even though we didn't hang out a lot. But we always got a kick out of each other on the show, and we didn't hang out a lot. We went to, like, see Seinfeld once while we were in Vancouver, but he worked like I've never seen anybody work. Like, he couldn't do that today. I couldn't do that. Yeah, I mean, this guy worked 10 months a year. Every scene was always on set. So the last thing he wanted to do was hang out with anybody after work, you know? And so we really didn't hang out a ton, but when the show ended, he kind of, like, you know, got some distance. Kind of
went to sleep for like 7 years.
Went to sleep for a few years, then he started doing some movies, and then all of a sudden we reconnected. We live right near each other, so every week we go swimming at. I belong to a club, a tennis club. It's cheap. It's not rich, but like we go swimming and we hang out, and you know, we're buddies. It's cool. We have a good time. I was in the hospital.
I would describe it differently.
Would you?
Yes. Michael and I have the kind of relationship, and hopefully you guys all have people like this in your lives. There's when you just know that there's love in the relationship, whether you see each other all the time or not, you just know that they're there for you. That's what we have.
Yeah, I feel that way. I feel like I could call Tom and say, buddy, my diarrhea is just, I don't know what to do.
And he'd be like, I would take 7 Imodium, you take 3.
That's all right.
Life happens.
Actually, that's not the way the saying goes, but we'll leave it at that.
You know what I don't like, Greg, is that there's only 21 minutes left.
Do you guys want us to go for another hour? Too bad, there's a whole schedule. They'll get super pissed if we keep.
I haven't even crowd surfed yet.
There's not one person's in line to ask a question.
Do you want him to get in line and ask questions? Please join me in this thing.
Sorry, I can't see anything. Oh, here we go.
You cut deep on that poor woman. No one's in line.
Well, I mean, I can see the mic, but I couldn't see anyone.
Sure. Hello, sir.
Hi, my name is Vincent.
Hey, Vincent, where are you from?
Southern Illinois.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Alright, just want to say, Tom, besides Christopher Reeve, you're the best Superman we've ever had.
I do. I didn't play Superman. I played Clark Kent.
What's the difference?
There's a little thing called a suit, buddy.
I've never seen an episode of Lois.
Hey, how about this, buddy? Best Clark, best Superman.
Yeah.
He's like, no. He is standing firm.
Dude, some guy came up to me and goes, listen, man, Gene Hackman was just better than you. And I'm like, yeah, I know. He's Gene Hackman. He's like, okay, I just want you to know that. All right, now beat it.
Alright, so I want to ask you a question though. Do you think Smallville is the ultimate Clark Kent story?
I mean, for me, yeah. I mean, one of the things that we did was we tried to focus on a story about a kid who I mean, I never looked at him as an alien from another planet. I always saw him as a human being trying to figure out who he was and what his identity is and what his purpose was on this planet. And I think we're all searching for that. Identity is a theme that in basically everything you see on television or in a story in a book is usually about identity. And that was an important story for me to tell. So the fact that he was from another planet, that just sort of accentuated this situation. Sorry, am I? No, you're dead.
No, I'm wondering. I'm actually pondering the thought of like, who am I?
You didn't know that Clark wasn't.
No, I'm thinking of who am I actually. I'm searching
identity.
for my identity. But go
so
on.
it was a study of identity for the character, which I really thought I liked a lot. And what I hope we did is we kind of shined a light.
You're nailing it. Go ahead.
Yeah. Shine a light on a part of this character that maybe people weren't so familiar with before, because we all knew where he was going to go and what he would become, but how did he get there? That was always sort of what we went back to as a theme.
Yeah, and the movies don't even...
Then that's how you debate.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks for the questions. Can you do me a favor? The next person who asks a question, could you talk into the mic so we can hear you?
Okay, first off, you're saying, do I look like I'm a superhero?
You brought Tom to the panel, and he's like,
I'm not a microphone guy.
Michael has a microphone at his house. Here we go.
I don't have a microphone.
Has anyone heard Michael's band? Michael's a great band.
Left on Laurel album's coming out. 2 months. You're gonna dig it.
You left my heart out in the cold, saying you tried all so untold. Feels like wasted hope. Now I guess I got plenty of time. Come on, man, that's a good song. Here we go. Go ahead. What's your question?
Wow, wait a minute. For the first time I could see how many people were actually here. Wow!
Yeah, give it up. Yeah, this is awesome. Go ahead with the question here.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I forgot to tell you at your booth, by the way, I love your shirt.
Yeah, Tom got it for me. Tom's my best friend.
And I got him a shirt, so there we go, full circle. Right?
Here we go.
All right. Smallville.
Yes.
What was it like for you guys working with Christopher Reeve?
For me, it was amazing. I don't think Michael you didn't actually get to work with him. I flew to
Thanks
New
for
York
bringing that up.
to work with him.
I met him on a trip to Puerto Rico once.
Oh, I
yeah,
see.
and at the Madison Square Garden charity game.
Cool, it's not a competition. Tom, go ahead and talk.
we just wanted somebody who had like a connection with him and like had a really conversation with him.
It was surreal. That's the best way to describe it. And the funny thing is, he said, "I'm so, obviously he was in the situation he was in. He was only supposed to be there for like 4 hours, and he ended up staying for 8. And his nurses were literally like, 'We gotta go,' and he was like, 'I'm not leaving. You can't physically.' He was legally, you can't move me without it me saying like anyway. He overworked himself way too far. But he did turn to me and he goes, 'I'm so glad they chose you to be the next Superman.' And I go, 'Well, they didn't.' And he didn't skip a beat. He goes, 'They should have.' Which I thought was really cool. You know what I mean? Like it's just the way we bonded. But he was a fantastic person, and surreal is the best way I can describe it. Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm jealous. But you guys are awesome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Hey, buddy, how are you? Good to see you. What's your question?
Hey,
That's Michael Rosenbaum.
But I want to say for your guys' restaurant proposal, 2 Clark Selects and a pizza place.
2 Clark Selects and a pizza place.
That's a good show.
Actually, my question is for you specifically.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What was it like playing as Flash on Justice League? Did you wash your hands?
I always wash my hands.
So you're not evil.
Playing Flash was the best because I didn't have to shave my head and have to put makeup on. I could just like have a beard and have a soda in front of me and just go, "Hey, Batman!" Michael, could you do that again? A little. "Hey, Bats!" Can you be sad? Hey, Bats! And that was it. It was easy. It was fun. Next question. Here we go.
This astronaut on the right up over here, Greg, has taught me, a hardcore Marvel fan, how to love Superman.
You're goddamn right I did.
Well done.
If you didn't hear it, I trained him, a Marvel fan, to be a Superman fan. So everyone should applaud me for a second.
Are you drinking my drink?
There's no job.
Just be the best.
Thank you, Dean.
So I obviously haven't seen Smallville or Lois and Clark. What could convince me to go back and watch it?
My delicious breath.
Actually, how about this? Here's one reason. Turn around and look at all of these people. And the second question is, and I mean this sincerely, what made you come to this panel if you haven't seen either?
Greg, yeah.
I'm just curious, like
Greg and also you came to see him?
Hang on. Dean,
really?
it's Tom. Let me ask you a question. Hold on, this is interrogation. This is why I should be an FBI agent. Watch this, Greg. Do you watch any shows, DC shows?
Now I do.
What do you watch, man?
I used to watch Flash.
Do you watch Arrow?
Not any.
Okay, Supergirl? But you watch Arrow, right? And guess why Arrow's on the air? Because Smallville was on the air before that. Yeah! That's your reason, bro! Now you and Greg can just sit down!
Thank you.
Come on.
You're brave. Brave man.
What was your guys' favorite part about shooting the show?
Where are your shoes?
Over there, my feet hurt. I've been walking all
I just want
day.
to make sure you.
So I smell.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
What was your favorite part about shooting any of the shows that you guys were on?
Favorite part of the shows, yeah.
Well, I enjoyed when I was on SVU. Oh wait, we're not talking any of the shows. Not any of the shows? Okay. Well, one of the things that's really fun about doing a show, when you're spending so much time on set, you do sort of become, and it's sort of cliche to say it, like a family. But clearly, it happens, these two. You become a family, and you know each other so well, because you spend like every waking moment together for 9.5, 10 months a year, and you go through, and life happens on the outside, so you really have to go through these things with everybody. Life happens, yes. So you become like a family, so there's something about that that's pretty cool. And I enjoyed that. What's going on up there?
I can just see myself here. It's kind of...
Oh, you're looking
Well,
for
there's no egos at the table.
No one's video. Not at the table. Not at the table.
This is kind of neat. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is a family.
It really is a family, and I love that sort of dynamic about it. I spent as much time in college as I spent doing the show.
Wow.
You did too, right? 10 years of college?
College. Go, college!
That is how I look at it, to be honest, because I didn't go to college. I
huge
got
period
a
of time.
graduate degree in Smallville.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Think about how much time that is. 10 years. By the way, 10 seasons, you guys. God bless you.
Only 70%.
But it's funny because I've never asked you this, and maybe I should ask this in private, but since you're all here. One of the funny things that I always enjoyed was trying to figure out on Smallville how to do the visual and physical effects. Because like at one point they had like a Ford F-150 with the treadmill on the back, and they drove the truck at like 20 miles an hour, and then they had the treadmill going, and then I was running on the treadmill while the truck was moving, while another truck had a camera and filming me, and I'm like, I don't think this is safe, and everybody's like, no, this isn't safe. Don't fall. Like if you fall, we're all fucked. And for you, there's parts of the show where you have to kind of do these crazy little weird things, and figuring those out, I always thought was a lot of fun. How to figure those things out. I thought was always fun. Yeah.
Great fun. They never put me in that kind of a dangerous situation, though. I would have been like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's just stupid.
I was so naive, dude. You almost died. I was literally on the treadmill, on a moving treadmill, on the back of a moving truck going, is this safe? And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay. That's how we lasted.
We actually wrote to Warner Brothers and said, Tom's out. They used to make us drive to work ourselves, which when you're working 15 hours a day, especially Tom, our locations were like an hour away. So the whole cast got together and wrote a letter to the president of Warner Brothers and said, your lead character, our lead, is going to die. So they got him a car, remember?
Yeah.
And then I got my
That's true.
too.
Makes good sense.
I didn't know any better.
Of course, but you work those kind of hours, you're exhausted. The longest hours we ever worked, we worked one day was 22 hours. That's on set working. Well, as tired as we are as actors, you got an entire crew doing that too. And if you got to drive home and try to function and then come back, 8 hours later, it's actually very dangerous. So it's smart that you guys did that.
Yeah.
Kudos on you.
Thank you. All right, thank you. Next question. Let's do it. Mark, I know you. How are you? Yeah, let's talk up to right here.
Hello.
Is your name Jennifer?
Yes.
I remembered.
I have a simple question. Out of all Superman's powers, which one would you want?
I'd take flying, and I'll tell you why. Because I fly too dang much. I don't like it. So I would take flying because it'd make things a lot easier. And, if you got something at home, you'd be right back, no problem. I would take flying. That would be it.
You're right, because I think you'd miss a lot by super speeding. You know what I mean? Like, everything's a blur.
But you'd be weak. Because strength, isn't that a superpower? So
That's right, Michael.
You'd just be able to fly and you'd be a weakling.
Yeah, but I mean...
You're like, look, Edward! That's it! Right?
You're fly, but I can't land? Is that the idea?
Yeah, you land. You're gonna
Believe it or not. I like Michael and I's favorite theme song for any television show. My personal one is Magnum P.I. But Greatest American Hero, we used to sing that all the time.
I can't believe it myself. Suddenly I'm up on top of the world. Should have been somebody else. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could be so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Oh no! That's not how it goes. Flying away. Oh no! Oh no! I want the remix to that shit.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
How you answered it. He said flying, and I said, but what if you're a weakling and then you were, I don't know, maybe you didn't answer. What is it?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. How are you? The line for questions, everyone's like leaving the line now. They're like,
Oh my God. Oh
Right on tone. Michael, I just want you to know, I know you have a lot of ground you want to cover. You only have 7 minutes and 40
no!
seconds.
Moving on.
Okay.
It's your fault.
First of all, Tom.
That's enough. Go ahead.
Tom, you're also on Lucifer. Michael, my question is actually for you.
Yes?
It's appropriate that you just say, I am obviously a Supernatural fan. Sorry.
That's cool.
But I'm not.
I'm not on that show.
I know, I'm getting there. Jason Mance, you did Mad World.
Yeah, he's producing the album, yeah.
Yes. Will you and/or Left on Laurel happen to be on his new one, or maybe one in the future?
Yes, and he's producing the new album. So,
Yeah.
but yes, he does I think covers with friends, and I did Mad World from Tears for Fears.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, that's all right. Tom's board. Thank you.
Oh, so sorry.
Thanks for listening. Next question. Let's go. Why don't you guys stay seated? Here we go. Everybody stay seated. I got vodka in this one and a mic in this one. You're telling me to help her up.
So I'd like to say, Dean, I love John Lois of Art.
thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for coming to Smallville Con last year.
Michael, come back to the panel.
Well, I'm trying to go fast through these things.
Michael loves you in Sorority Boys.
Thank you.
And Tom loves you in Cheaper by the Dozen and Draft Day. Question is for you. It's a little off the wall. We brought the wine bottle in yesterday. How is my fan doing?
Wait, what?
So better run wine.
The umbrella?
The fan.
Oh, the fan?
Oh, the fan. I used it today.
Really?
Yeah, actually, when I saw you with that one, yeah, it's black and
You can
gold.
have this one.
It's at my table. I've been using it all day.
Ma'am, I also want you to know that this is called a microphone and it amplifies your voice. If you speak into it, we can hear you better.
Okay!
I love that she gets up there and she's like, so anyway, I'm like, damn!
I just want to say I've also never seen Smallville, but I appreciate all of you. But my husband got me into the DC Universe animated cartoon, so my question's for you, Michael. What's it feel like being a part of 2 DC shows as Lex and Wally West?
Awesome, very lucky, and I never, I was always a horror movie fan, so I never imagined I'd be Lex Luthor. In fact, my friends all laughed at me because I'm always joking and a bit of a comedian, and so when So when I got Lex Luthor, I was like, oh my gosh, they hired me. I thought I was gonna get fired. I remember telling him, I'm like, they're gonna fire me. They're gonna figure it out that I can't do this. I'm not capable. And then
Really good actor.
Yeah.
As you can tell.
And they kept me, and then I coincidentally got an audition for the voice of the Flash, and I went in there going, I don't really know the history of it, but I did a voice, and they go, yep, you're cast as that. I had no idea, but both of them made such an impact.
I really don't think Michael has ever gotten enough credit for what he's done, and I don't mean that just because he's sitting here. One of the things that Michael does is he's outside of his goddamn mind, has the biggest heart in the world, and in between takes, he can go off on tangents and be the funniest, craziest person, and then they're like rolling, and he can focus. I can't do that. But he is very different than the character he played, and he was so compelling as Lex Luthor, and that says something to you. I know you're sitting right here, but like,
hey man, thank you.
That's his craft. Like, that's him as an actor creating that character. If you go to Michael's house, he does not walk around like Lex Luthor and like, Tom, come on into my house. Like, he doesn't do that.
Alexander the Great gave me that painting.
It's completely different. But he's a craftsman, and he did a great job with that.
Dude, thanks. Couldn't have done it without you, bud. Brought out the best in me.
I kind of wish you were still down here because I was going to lead with the question with you. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, staying next to Sylvester Stallone.
Oh yeah, that was cool until they CGI'd my face. You didn't know who the hell I was. Yeah, it was an honor to be part of it. They tell me I'm going to be in the next ones, but working with Sly was the best. I mean, every day they're like, yo, who are you supposed to be with the dots on your face? You're supposed to be Pippi Longstocking. I know, it's the CGI. What are you CGI'd for? And he couldn't get the lines out. He'd be like, look, Ravager's is it Ravager or Ravager? It's Ravager, no N. Look, Ravager. It's like Sly. It's like, who wrote this? I did. Yeah, well, hey, I can't get it out. You're gonna have to take what you can get. Swear to God.
That is awesome, though.
Thanks, man.
The question is, besides Superman, in either universe, which character would y'all want to be?
I mean, all of them. I mean, who doesn't want to? I want to play all the characters. I'd love to play Batman. I think that'd be cool. I would love to play everything except me. You know who doesn't get enough credit is Green Lantern. Green Lantern somebody needs to help Green Lantern out. Because in the comics, he's a badass. And somebody needs to do a movie. Is anybody here in the movie business?
Didn't Ryan Reynolds do the Green Lantern?
Yeah. We don't talk about that, Michael! Thank you. That's my point.
Although Deadpool 2 at the very end.
Michael Reynolds?
Deadpool 2 at the very end where he pulls out the Green Lantern.
Yeah, that was good.
Welcome to the big boys time, whatever it was, and then it burns and he dies. It was awesome.
That was smart.
That was fantastic. You gotta be able to make fun of yourself.
I could see you as Green Lantern.
Yes.
Do I have to work out? Well, they wear those muscle suits anyway.
Yeah, I
don't do anything. Even whatever you say it's changed anyway. If I talk like this, they're like, if I talk like this, I'm like growing disorder. Hey, I'm talking like this. Hey, I'm talking like this. Everything changes now. This is what I'm going to do because it's more compelling, so I don't even need to talk like that anymore.
That's probably how Stallone felt when he couldn't get the line out. He's like, they're just going to fix it in it.
Ravagers. Go ahead, friend.
Real quick, each of you, what's your favorite Smallville / Lois and Clark episode?
Smallville / Lois and Clark. What's your favorite Lois and Clark episode?
My favorite Lois and Clark episode was when Clark Kent he proposed to Lois Lane. That was cool. I love that. That was the whole show, and she responds with who's asking Clark or Superman. It's the greatest moment of that show. I think that's my favorite one. My favorite Smallville moment was the one I was on.
Didn't you? Funny,
I didn't die because I couldn't die.
It's funny, I have a different favorite moment.
Imagine if you watched every episode, he's like, actually, episode 37 of season 3. Go ahead, what's yours?
Well, my favorite is Transference, when John Glover and I switched. That was just, it was hard as an actor, and it was fun to do. It was just one of my favorite episodes to do.
I'd say, honestly, one of them is the pilot, because that was the first.
That was great, yeah.
It was just like, you know, when I had to give him, he had to give me mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. That was pretty tasty. And
I mean, who doesn't want to give Michael Rosenbaum mouth-to-mouth?
just like seeing, you know, even the first time they introduced Lex, like when I'm fencing and I take the helmet off. And
is that the first scene we ever did?
I think that was their first
They were by the riverside, just staring like...
No, it was not. The first scene is when you saved me, right?
I think so.
I don't remember.
What
was it?
I was always like, close your eyes. Close your eyes.
Dude. I remember every time.
He kept opening his eyes. I'm like, dude, you're unconscious.
Well, you were kissing.
You're a better actor than me. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know your eyes should be closed.
Why are you arresting me?
Go ahead, sorry.
Kind of true.
As a little girl, ask a question.
This is our final question.
Final question. Sorry.
Hi, so what was the funniest behind the scenes moment for you guys?
Well, there was a CPR moment.
Dean? Funniest scene in Lois and Clark, the funniest behind the scenes thing that happened.
The most fun we had probably was just the silly things. You have mistakes with special effects, like the practical flying and things like that. So there's a thing that hangs behind like a building like this, because we're inside a studio like this, and so you have an entire skyline. It's called a translight, and it hangs in the back. And then, you know, I'd fly in or fly out, and sometimes they'd fly me right into the translight, and it was kind of funny. So those moments were good. They were fun.
I'd say. Go ahead.
I was going to say, and so be careful with the next answer to the young lady. What the funniest scenes?
Oh yeah, we have to. Yeah. You know, there was a scene where I was playing Zod, and I had this giant Zod cape that I have in my closet. If anyone wants to see it, and they have me up like on this wire. And there's this crane shot, and I'm coming down, and Tom's supposed to be on the ground, and I'm supposed to float. I'm floating 50 feet in the air. I get brought down in this crane, which I'm supposed to step off of, and I'm supposed to be very fluid, and then I get off, and I go, kneel to Zod. And the wires kept crossing, so I was like, trying to be cool as hell, I'm like, and then one time I got it. The one time I'm finally like,
The one time I didn't screw up.
I get off and I go, Tom's just hysterical.
He goes, kneel to Zod, and I'm like,
and they're like, Rosenbaum back on the crane. No!
So ridiculous.
So
it's one of my favorite.
I was like, I'll never work again. I go, how is this cool? This can't be cool. I remember even, you know, the famous line that everybody always asks me to sign is, I am the villain of the story. But I remember going, I don't know. I looked at Clark and I go, I am the villain of the story. I'm like, oh my God, this can't be good. And I guess it was, but I was so worried that was going to come off as cheesy. I really was.
One of my favorite moments was that same episode where Michael had to play Zod, and Michael was like, so they got me playing 2 characters next episode. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, I'm playing Lex and Zod, they're paying me twice. And I go, hey, Rosie, I don't know a lot, but you sure? Fuck yeah. He goes, heck yeah, I'm playing 2 characters, they're playing me twice. And I just remember going, good luck with that, bud. Like, I was just like,
Yeah, I didn't get paid twice.
No.
Well, Lex was odd.
But you really...
I really thought.
You really thought you...
In fact, I used to beg them early on. I go, hey, I'm versatile. Can I play another character? I'm bald, so if you give me a wig and a mustache, I can kill it. I'll be the star of the week.
Already here.
I'll be the guest star of the week, man. I'll fight myself. It'll be awesome. They're like, no, we'll hire a Canadian. It's cheaper.
He was Clark for 3 years. You guys didn't notice that?
Yeah, I was, right?
What they can do with practical effects.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been your Superman panel. Thank you guys.
Give it up for Greg! Give it up for Greg! Hey, let's get a picture. Hey, you guys, everybody stand up. We want to get a picture with you guys.
We need more lights.
We need more lights. More lights.
We need more lights. Please.